the sound of learning.
Hello people, how's it going? And welcome back to LigerCast, the sound of learning. I'm your one and only host, Dalin.
Hey, excuse me, are you forgetting me?
Oh, Wing Ho.
Look, I've been a host with you all the time, and you said you are the only host here?
Sorry, Wing Ho. It's just I was excited to get into today's topic. Did you know that Cambodia has 443 kilometers of coastline along the Gulf of Thailand?
Yes, though I prefer to call it the Bay of Cambodia. This area is also home to all 80 of our nation's outland islands.
These ocean areas are part of the largest and possibly most important ecosystem on Earth. And yet, science knows less about it than they know about the surface of the moon.
One thing we do know is that humans have caused great damage to our oceans and the creatures that live there. And now it's up to us to help them recover before they are lost for good.
For this special episode, we sent two producers to a tropical island.
Why not me? I wanna go.
I know, me too. Our two producers spent a week on the island learning about the various challenges to Cambodia's marine ecosystems and how one organization is working to meet those challenges.
Solide and Savanu have this story. Take it away, ladies.
All day long I sing a song about the ocean blue. The waves are returning, the sun is a burning, and I've got a blanket or two. All day long.
Hello from Kose, a small horse-head-shaped island, 45 minutes off the coast of Cape, a tropical paradise at first glance, with beautiful beaches and clear blue water.
However, when you look closer, you notice a lack of life under the water due to illegal fishing methods and rubbish from the mainland rolling in on every wave. We did a beach cleanup and bagged 130 kilograms of rubbish in just an hour.
The island is dotted by 3 concrete bunkers, reminders from the wars of Cambodia's past, when Kose was a strategic outpost. Today, the island is the front line in the battle for the future of Cambodia's marine life.
My name is Paul Ferber. I'm the Director of Marine Conservation Cambodia. My nationality is British, and I've been here in Cambodia for 10 years, 8 of those doing marine conservation.
MCC is an organization whose mission is to protect and conserve Cambodia's marine biodiversity and habitats. Their founder, Paul, is a fascinating guy. He's big, strong, bald, but with a big goatee. He has a mix of passion, intelligence, and toughness you don't want to mess with.
Yes, and he's got a lot of tattoos, including a seahorse whose tail wraps around his nipple.
What?
He has really strong feelings about seahorses. Paul and his team started off in Sihanoukville, running snorkel and scuba diving trips, but he soon found that the conditions were becoming unsuitable.
A lot of destruction started to happen. Illegal boats doing very destructive fishing, and the places that we went every day to go diving started to be destroyed. So we saw a need for somebody to do something, and so we started Marine Conservation Cambodia.
MCC does many things. They work closely with the provincial government to stop illegal fishing methods that damage marine life and to educate illegal fishermen. They also work to rebuild the habitats they protect, as well as run scientific studies on the health of those habitats.
MCC began their work on a different island called Koh Rong Samlam, but as it became too touristy, MCC realized they needed a new location. They worked with the government of Cape to find a new home. That's how they discovered Kose.
When I arrived at this island, there was something very special about it. First thing I did was jump off the boat and have a look underwater. I could see seagrass that was quite healthy but with no life in it. I could see a coral reef that was very beautiful but with no life in it. And I saw an opportunity for a place where we could start. We could start to bring back what there was.
To bring back what?
To bring back the healthy ocean ecosystem that would have existed here before pollution, overfishing, and destruction, the type of beautiful biodiversity that can be found in our neighbors, Thailand and Vietnam, where they have world-class diving.
But why are coral and seagrass so exciting to Paul?
Coral and seagrass are to marine life what clean water and good soil are to humans. They are the resources sea life needs for food, shelter, and reproduction.
Right, and there's one particular creature that can tell scientists like Paul if an underwater area is healthy, the seahorse.
I want to be a little seahorse.
A seahorse? Oh yeah, you know that thing that mermaids ride around on?
No, I thought it was a type of snake.
You're both wrong. The seahorse is a type of fish. They are what called an indicator species. That means that if you have happy, healthy seahorses, that's a good indication that the ecosystem as a whole is happy and healthy too. But if you don't have seahorses, the ecosystem has problems.
The seahorse is a quite fragile creature. It's quite small as well. It doesn't move too much. So if the place where it lives got any kind of problem, it'll be one of the first to suffer from that problem. And he also embodied everything we need to save. So if we save the seahorse, we will save hundreds of other animals and species who live at the same place or in the same ecosystem as the seahorse.
Who is this we're hearing from?
This is Amek.
I'm Amik Haisun. I'm 31 years old and I come from Quebec, the French part of Canada.
Oh, I like his accent.
Yes, we heard many fun new accents during our time on Corsair. As leaders of conservation in Cambodia, MCC attracts volunteers to their little islands from all over the world.
Okay, so I'm Cecilia. I'm from Switzerland.
My name is Casey. I grew up in Montana.
My name is Fern.
My name is Christian. I'm from Germany.
My name is Matt. I come from New York.
My name is Jasmine.
My name is Gabor. I'm from Hungary.
It's like one big multicultural family.
It really is. They all loved scuba diving and the underwater beauty it reveals. But what unites them is a passion to not just appreciate that beauty, but to protect it.
Amek came to MCC searching for a way to combine his work as a dive instructor with helping the ocean.
So I was trying to find a way to keep diving and keep doing what I'm passionate of, but at the same time helping the environment and make it a better place as well.
Today, Amik is a seahorse expert. He runs meticulous underwater surveys, searching for the species of seahorse that can be found in neighboring countries and should be here in Cambodia, but are not.
They found 4 types of seahorses so far.
Hippocampus cuda, have Hippocampus monachi, Hippocampus tromaculatus, we have Spinosissimus. We still think we have Comes here as well, but we haven't had it confirmed yet.
Good start, but a truly healthy ecosystem should have up to 8.
As a symbol of what they hope to accomplish, MCC has even selected seahorse for their logo.
They're really cute animal. If we have choose the rock crab, maybe less people are interested with the rock crab.
Aw, poor rock crab. You're cute in your own way, Rocky.
But by saving the seahorse, we'll save the rock crabs and hundreds of other animal species.
After all this talk of seahorses, we were ready to get under the water and see things for ourselves.
Are we under the water now?
Yes, don't you feel the waves?
Wait, can I breathe down here?
If you're using your snorkel, right?
MCC gave this group of Cambodian kids the gift of an incredible experience, our first time snorkeling. We talked to the students just as they were getting out of the water.
A little bit nervous because it's my first time to snorkel, and I'm so happy to see a lot of different kind of fish and coral by my eye, not just from the video or from the pictures, but it's real. It's so amazing to see all of that creature.
It feels very fun, and I found a lot of fish and I see one eel, but it's interesting for me. First, I don't think that the fish are beautiful. Then when I go in, I see a lot of fish and different color.
It's okay for me, but it's a little bit cold. when you get into the water. Yeah, it's really fun.
What did you think of it, Savanu and Soliday?
Under the water, it was very beautiful, so much better than seeing it in a movie. When I was snorkeling, I saw the coral reef, the shining beauty seagrass, fish, crabs, even a sea sponge.
Yeah, it looked like a big blue monster tail sticking out from under a rock.
And the seahorses?
No seahorses. They are very good at hiding, and some of them are smaller than a fingernail.
The life we saw in the reef at Gossef was only there because of all the hard work MCC has done over the past 3 years. But Paul says there should be much more life there and all over the Cambodian coast.
This lack of life is mainly due to one big, loud enemy.
What the heck is that?
It's an illegal trawling boat.
What is trawling?
Oh, it's when you purposely make people angry with sarcastic online comments.
That's trolling, Wing Hua. Trawling is a destructive fishing method. Bottom trawling boats drag large nets weighed down by big, heavy scraper along the ocean floor. They tear up everything in their path.
Kind of like taking an electric razor and scouring it over your scalp. Trawlers are non-selective, meaning they sweep up both marketable and undesirable fish of both legal and illegal size, as well as bycatch like dolphins and turtles.
Many of the illegal trawling boats that are terrorizing Cambodia also use illegal electric cables to shock its catch, killing everything it touches.
It also rips up the seagrass and destroys coral reefs. It's similar to clear-cutting a forest.
Right. It is extremely difficult for an ecosystem to recover after it has been exposed to trawling. There are areas of the ocean floor that have been scraped up so many times they won't be able to recover for decades, if ever.
That's why this fishing technique is forbidden by most countries in coastal waters shallower than 20 meters, Cambodia included. Unfortunately, illegal trawling happens on a nightly basis around the Cape Archipelago.
The problem is the place is too small.
This is Suisraywood. He is an expert working with the Cambodian government's Ministry of Fisheries.
My name is Suisraywood. I am the head of research at the Sea Conservation Institute.
The Bay of Thailand is the only saltwater coastal area in Cambodia. Mr. Seraywood explains how this causes competition.
The population of Cape has increased. You have people who are trawling and others using legal nets in the same place. And they have disagreements with each other. So some have started to fish in the protected area that we are trying to conserve.
The Cambodian government has made a commitment under the Convention on Biological Diversity to protect 10% of its marine and coastal ecoregions by 2020.
It is the role of ministry to conserve such habitats as seagrass, coral, mangroves, and flooded forests.
But it has not been easy getting fishermen to change their ways.
And even though the provincial government and the fisheries have informed them all that this is highly illegal and tried to stop them, they don't listen because they have to use this type of gear. They've been trawling for so long in Kep that they've destroyed so much of the ocean that they have to now use electric to catch the little tiny bits that are left.
The fishery administration offices on the coastline are trying very hard from day to day. We do have some good outcomes, but are dealing with the increasing population and better illegal tools. So we collaborate together with the administration of the community, marine conservation, Sea Fishing Administration Department, and Marine Authority to try to stop the illegal activity.
And another important collaborator has been MCC. They have worked closely with the Cape government and the local fisheries administration to try and get them to enforce the law that already exists.
Paul and his crew go out on nightly patrols searching for illegal trawlers. Thanks to Gossef's central location, they can help play enforcer to a large area.
So we can be the eyes and the ears on the ground here, making sure that every piece of information about what goes on in the ocean gets reported back to the authorities that can deal with it.
When they hear or spy a trawler, the MCC crew jumps on their boat and chases them down on the high seas.
What we do is we video and we photo these boats, and then we can give the evidence to the fisheries and to the provincial government so they can act on our evidence.
Paul's team will work with legal forces to confiscate the illegal fishing gear as well as their catch and try to ensure that the illegal fishermen are arrested. Sometimes they'll even take their boats away.
Kind of like pirates, but good pirates.
This had made MCC very unpopular with illegal fishermen. They've had many adventures, such as the time their boat was caught in a trawler's net and they had to chop themselves free before the trawler crushed them.
These sort of clashes happen all the time. In fact, MCC had a run-in with illegal trawlers the very night we were there on the island.
We were getting ready for bed when we noticed the lookout man speaking urgently with Paul. We asked Paul what was going on.
We've been listening to possibly quite a large boat out there. They're within 1 kilometre roughly of where we are right now. The change in the engine sound, which means that they've dropped their nets and they've started fishing. So I've asked all the boys to get ready. I'm going to get on a boat and chase them down.
The crew leapt to action. One of them called the fishery administration to alert them.
We stayed by their side as they hurried down the dock to their patrol boat, and Paul explained what would happen.
We're going to see whether they're using electric. We're going to see whether they're Cambodian or Vietnamese. We'll be calling the fisheries, tell them that we're going out. Hopefully they can send some support. If it's an illegal electric boat, we'll liaise with the fisheries to make sure that they're dealt with. If it's a standard Khmer trawler, we'll ask them to pull up their nets and move out of the area.
Then they all leapt on the boat and sped away.
Oh my, you didn't go with them, did you?
No, we wanted to, but...
We take you with you, but we're not actually supposed to be going out tonight.
Plus, we're 13-year-old girls.
We watched the MCC patrol boat put her away into the darkness. We were worried for them.
We asked the children of the crewmen who also live on the island if they knew what their dad were doing.
They go to control the fisherman. The fisherman was like catching a fish, so she hear a sound, she go catch it and told them say, you go to catch fish in your country. This is have a coral, a leaf for living. You don't need to come here to catch a fish.
We talked to Sao, Paul's Thai wife, to ask if she was worried, but she was just swinging on her hammock, completely calm.
No, I'm not worried because it's I'm staying like this, close to 10 years already. How to say, believe of them for what they're doing. They do for a long time already, like a professional.
Well, we were still nervous. We waited and waited for about an hour and a half until we heard the MCC boat returning. We rushed to the dock to meet them.
It was clear they brought back more than they left with. Big, heavy chains and netting surrounded by thick blue wire, electric cable.
Electric, see the blue cable?
And two huge, heavy wooden things.
It's a big wooden thing that's basically got a stainless steel like sledge part at the bottom. It's all stainless steel bands that hold the wood together. It weighs about 100 to 150 kilos. There's two of them, and they keep the width of the net open, and that's what also keeps it on the floor, so that when the trawling boat's actually trawling, it's keeping the net as deep into the seabed as it can. They're very heavy. It takes 4 or 5 of us to basically pull up all the net and everything that's in it, and we have to do it fast.
The illegal fishermen had seen MCC's boat cut their gear loose and flat.
No, they cut the rope. They basically, we didn't even get a chance to say anything. We saw them, we turned on the light, torch. They just started screaming at each other. They cut their ropes, and then their boat started blowing black smoke and they ran.
Sounds like MCC's reputation had preceded them.
Yes, The fishermen were worried they lose a lot more than their gear.
Because if they get caught, it's a class 1 offence. I mean, it's basically a mandatory jail term. They were not only electric, but they were in the seagrass, so they've done 2 class 1 offences. But on that, the class 2 or 3 offences of trawling in shallow waters that they're not supposed to, they're pretty much as illegal as you could possibly get, which is why they would rather cut the net.
What was inside the net?
Cut it open. There's not a great deal in it. I think they must have only just dropped this net, probably, I would say, 10 to 15 minutes before we actually got there. As you can see, there's hardly anything in it. Oh, you're squashing the shrimp.
But to us, it did look like a lot. So many dead or nearly dead underwater creatures. The mood grew somber as the crew filtered through the catch. You could feel how their heart ached for this loss of life and how the anger and frustration rose in their throat.
You've got little tiny mantis shrimp. You can see, I mean, the fish are just dead already. Yeah. This is a dragnet. These are absolutely beautiful. We love these when we're diving. You see the size of the net, and that's. They say that's 1 centimetre, but that to me looks more like about 0.75. It's a tiny mesh-sized net.
Legally, the holes in the net are supposed to be at least a certain size so young fish can escape. This net broke that rule.
Little crabs. You see that little crab there should be alive. If it was in a normal trawling net, it would be alive. It's already dead. It's all sponges, all part of the filtration systems of the ecosystem. You've got an octopus. As you see, it's already dead. The octopus, caught in any normal net, would still be alive. It's just been shocked. Yeah, there's a whole load of eggs up there. Throw them in and see what happens. But it's unlikely they'll survive. Like electrocuting a pregnant woman.
Most of the fish were tiny, just babies, not close to a size the fishermen can sell.
And this is part of what drives Paul crazy. The fishermen are only destroying their own business, their own futures.
These would get up to a good feeding size. You'd have to put them on a dinner plate and then make a meal for 2 when they're a bit bigger. Instead, this thing's just useless. Yeah, but it's never. They just don't get the chance. They're caught in these nets, and it's devastating to the poorer families. The little guys doing sustainable fishing in, say, 6 months' time would be able to feed their family on that. Yeah, they'll be able to make money from it, and instead it's just ripped up by these boats. Destroyed before it has any commercial value whatsoever.
The crew was making a small pile that was still good for eating, a very small pile.
This little pile of shrimp here, and you want to ask Pon how much that would cost. I'm not sure what it costs the market. I never buy it.
6,000-7,000.
Less than $2. Less than $2 for the destruction of. If these fish were left to grow, some of these fish would cost more than $5 to $10 just for the fish, just for one fish. Just crazy. Been a long time campaigning for the stop of this absolutely stupid way of fishing.
It's hard for us to go and moralize them, tell them it's very bad what they're doing. Because I can understand, if my kids were hungry, I will go get the fish we have here as well, you know, because it's more important to your family. But at the same time, the thing I can tell them is, your son will not be a fisherman, because in 20 years, they won't have any fish left here. So it's all about finding a way to work with them, and also everybody to be respectful with one another. And not trying to judge, but just trying to improve the situation.
I get what he means. Really, the laws are there to help the fishermen to make their livelihood sustainable. But it seems like the illegal fishermen have little choice. I mean, what's the alternative? Is there one?
Well, darling, that's the biggest challenge. And we might have an idea that could work. Algae farming.
Algae farming? Like growing seaweed? On purpose?
Believe it or not, that green slimy stuff that sticks to your legs at the beach is actually big business. Algae has many uses, including as food ingredients, natural dyes, fertilizers, feedstock, medicines, and even biofuel. This product provides natural solutions to energy, food, economic, and climate challenges that are facing the whole world today.
It's a major export from China, Indonesia, the Philippines and Vietnam, where large-scale aquaculture accounts for about 7% of the GDP and growing.
Vietnam? They're right next door.
And our marine conditions have similar potential. If they can do it in Vietnam, we should be able to do it in Cambodia.
Algae farms create a healthy ecosystem for diverse aquatic life to breed. If illegal fishermen become algae farmers instead, they could stay in their homes, replenish our waters, and be working in a sustainable industry with a bright future.
And without all those nasty trawlers, the ocean here would be more beautiful and attract more tourists.
Sounds like it could be a great solution for Cambodia.
It makes a ton of sense from our perspective, yet Mr. Serewood was not aware to any plans to launch the industry.
It won't happen overnight, and in the meantime, Paul and MCC find themselves caught in yet another net.
We saw this article by Brent Crane in the Phnom Penh Post.
February 15th, 2016. Volunteers, fishermen clash off Kaips coast. A group of foreign conservation volunteers sailing off the coast of Kaip province late on Friday night was set upon by a flotilla of illegal fishermen who attempted to pelt them with rocks and other projectiles, only disbanding after Cambodian maritime police fired warning shots into the sea. As that was happening, 3 trawlers destroyed MCC's smallest vessel by ramming into it. One volunteer said he also witnessed fishermen lobbing lit petrol bombs at the boat.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, we brought Paul to our studio for a follow-up interview to discuss this incident. Our studio sort of fell apart on him, but we still had a very interesting chat.
Try again, I'm being attacked by pillows.
He explained this incident in Kaip and it's a bit complicated. Basically, some volunteers from MCC were out sightseeing at night, enjoying the phytoplankton glowing in the water. Some trawlers mistook them for a fishery patrol and dropped their illegal nets. When they realized it wasn't a patrol, the trawlers came back and attacked with 8 big boats. Paul and the marine police, who typically do not cooperate with MCC, came to the rescue. In the confusion, the trawlers sank MCC unmanned research boat back at the dock at Kosse.
Despite ongoing investigations, no arrests have been made. In fact, Paul saw the same boats that attacked them out trawling just a few nights later.
Thankfully, no one was hurt that night. At least, no one human. In the end, it resulted in more serious damage to the Kaip marine life. MCC was grounded, the provincial government telling them it was too dangerous to patrol. No more patrols or they'll be arrested. And large Vietnamese trawlers took full advantage, brazenly ripping apart the ocean floor right in front of Kosse.
So we've got areas that were showing massive signs of recovery. You know, regrowth of seagrass. Species that we'd not seen in 2 years being in there, larger numbers, abundance of these species that we're seeing, and now we're going back to how it was 2 years ago. The longer it goes on, just the longer the time of recovery. I still believe that there's going to be some species that probably will never recover. You know, so it's quite soul destroying at the moment.
Oh man, what a bummer.
This is rough.
We gotta be real, Wing Hua.
We asked him what needs to happen, what will help.
It's actually a very, very simple solution. There is an existing fisheries law, or more than one fisheries law in place to put a complete stop to this. They need to increase the manpower slightly, provide them with the resources to do it, and then enforce the law. That simple.
There have been some silver linings that resulted from this incident. The Fisheries Administration have been doing more patrols on their own and are now cracking down on the area right around Kosse. 9 crewmen from 3 boats using electric cable were recently arrested, prosecuted and sent to jail.
This sends a strong message.
For sure. The fact that they were never punished, or the worst that would happen is they would lose some of their fishing gear, was never really a big deterrent. But I think the worry of being jailed for a year or two is something which is a big deterrent, is a major turning point.
And such turning points are desperately needed. Fishermen are only catching 25% of what they were 15 years ago, according to Cambodian Daily, and coastal fish yields fell another 5% last year.
Paul is confident that good management of marine resources and full enforcement of existing laws would almost immediately begin a reversal, increasing catches and coastal livelihoods.
And, as Mr. Siriwood pointed out, enforcement has been increasing in part due to MCC's work. Illegal fishing bursts were up 150% in 2015. There's a new EU ambassador in Cambodia who is a champion of conservation.
And there is a new project that could mean very good news for Cambodia's marine ecosystem. We recently spoke to Kate West from an international conservation organization called Flora and Fauna International.
Yes, my name's Kate West and I am the project manager for their Coastal and Marine Conservation Project.
Kate told us about an exciting and important project FFI is working on with the National Fisheries Administration, establishing Cambodia's first marine national park.
The Fisheries Administration asked for technical and financial support to create Cambodia's first big or large-scale marine protected area, and it would be called a Marine Fisheries Management Area.
The MFMA.
MFMA.
Oh, sure, an MFMA. But what does that mean exactly?
Proposed Marine Fisheries Management Area has a number of different zones, they're called. So the first zone would be a conservation area, and that means that no fishing can take place, no diving, no snorkeling. It's just for conservation. So this is an area to help species recover or protect a certain habitat. And then we have fisheries refugia. The fishermen help define this area. So maybe it's an important place for fish to spawn, so when they produce their eggs. And then there's recreational areas, and those areas are just for snorkeling and diving. You can't fish in them.
Wow, cool. Where's this park MFMA going to be? It's around the Karong archipelago, about 400 square kilometers. One reason they chose this spot is because they already had a lot of information on the ecosystem there, much in thanks to MCC's work back in the early days on Karong Semblang.
It also represents the sort of three major habitats in the marine environment, so coral reef, seagrass and mangrove.
400 square kilometers? That sounds like a lot. Will this fulfill Cambodia's commitment to protect 10% of marine regions by 2020?
Not quite.
So this would only represent like 0.04% of the total area of Cambodia's waters. So 0.04%, yeah. So it's a really small part.
0.04?
Oi!
It's a start. We have to begin somewhere, and establishing the first MFMA and figuring out how to make it work should pave the way for more and more areas to be protected in the near future. In fact, PA and the provincial government are currently working on stage 1 of another official conservation zone in Kaip.
There are hundreds and hundreds of tourists visiting these islands every day, and divers will pay good money to enjoy the recreation areas. At first, however, the hope is that donation will fund more boats, more people, and more patrol to enforce the rules.
Local support is key to the project's success. FFI has been working very closely with the 3 community fisheries in the Karong area and given them a lot of say.
The approach that FFI has taken in supporting the Fisheries Administration has been to have a project which is led from the ground up. So the communities have been involved, the private sector, so the dive operators, the businesses, and the wider communities themselves and other NGOs. So it isn't a project where the government just says, we're going to create a protected area. People know about what's happening, and I think then you get more buy-in. People feel that they are involved and they want to support it.
The local communities have already begun to recognize the conservation and the refugee areas. They are waiting for the national government to sign the documents to officially name the park.
The MFMA.
Right, the MFMA.
I hope it happens this year. Yeah, by the end of 2016 would be great.
Go out there and do it. You have the power to change things, and you are maybe one of the last generation with that power. Because if everybody sit down and just think it's too hard or what can I change, at some point we're gonna pass the tipping point. It's gonna be too late for lots of stuff.
This was the message Amek left us with. The students at Gosse truly took that message to heart and were willing to accept the responsibility we're inheriting. On our final night on the island, we sat around the campfire and discussed how our experience there had changed our perspective.
All right, Neil Ryan, something powerful since you've been here.
I think when the boy, he take me under the pier into a school of fish. And the fish just do what they do normally. I can see it around me, and that experience is my core memory for this trip.
Okay, I don't know who's gonna be the core memory.
It's really think about Paul, he's not Cambodian, but he loves Cambodia, coral reef so much, so he come here to protect from there are no coral at all, and now it's there are a lot of biodiversity in the coral reef, so I really appreciate that.
Waking at 6, sitting on sea sand, seeing the rising sun after sleeping in the hammock on Seh Island. Some exercising, taking the sensational oxygen along the stunning seaside, snorkeling and scuba diving, then standing on the seashore at 6 p.m. to see sunset are super stupendous.
When I come to MCC, I thought that it's really hard to live on an island. But now I got it, how easy it is. Just wear the same clothes every day. And just jump in the water for showering.
I got in on the action too. For me, I never used to dive or snorkel before. I never used to camp, have a campfire here. I never go under the water and see things like organisms in the water. And I'm proud of myself that I can be one of Cambodian citizens and can study at Liger and have an opportunity to come here. And I'm really appreciate to MCC that created this organization, encourage Cambodian people to trying to conserve their own marine life.
Mr. Director, your turn. Well, first of all, I want to say I feel proud sitting with you guys, yeah? Because you're the future of Cambodia. What we do here sometimes feels like we're hitting our head against a brick wall, yeah? It feels like we're running up sand up a big hill, yeah? And you guys give us inspiration and motivation to carry on what we're doing. And you guys are absolutely awesome. I want to thank you for coming here, yeah? Okay? That's my special experience from you coming here. Thank you very, very much.
I want to be a little seahorse.
Sounds like a powerful experience for everyone. It's on us now. I'm talking to you, youth of Cambodia. We gotta save our marine ecosystem.
I'm gonna start growing seaweed in my toilet right away. Thank you, Soliday and Sawanu.
Thank you. We're lucky we got them back from the island.
I know. I'm still super jealous.
That's all for today's episode. And the end of season 1.
Wow.
Yeah. The school year is over.
Wee-hoo!
Thank you to everyone who helped us produce this series, the first of its kind in Cambodia.
And thank you to all of you lovely listeners for joining us. We'll be back with season 2 later this year.
Yeah, and we also have a brand new website, LigerCast.com. You can go in there and listen to all of our episodes with pictures and connect with us more.
LigerCast.com.
LigerCast.com. Thank you for listening to LigerCast, the sound of learning.
Goodbye.
LigerCast is created by the students of Liger Learning Center in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. This episode was produced and written by Sawanu, Soliday, Sawanari with help from Dalin. Editing by Sopat and Kim Sen with Soliday and Sawanu. Educational support by Karen Creature and Richard Raymond Harry Herbeck. The music you heard was by the Wendrop Benhat with Shirley, Miami Slice, David Sasseste, Uncle Neptune, Meister Fight, GW Scores, Macroform, and Tana from Dhaka.
LigerCast would like to send a special thanks to Jan Krieger, Pirun Kum, Bunhan Un, Thirium, Thach Janadi, and Aran Gobert. And of course, a big LigerCast shout out to everyone at Marine Conservation Cambodia. Thank you for listening. Goodbye!